Alrighty, we are live with answering your financial questions with Coach Steve Money. That is me, episode number 208. As I wait to hear myself. Make sure we have audio. Quite a delay on it. I'm not even seeing the video. There we go. I had to refresh the screen. Weird. All right. So, but I can hear myself. Okay. Look, it might be a little low though. Oh, let me see. I apologize for. Oh, I had it turned down way low, so we are probably fine. Again, I am Coach D Money, and I am a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And the Ramsey way of doing things is basically the deal is no debt. And so if you have debt, you're not making debt payments, and then you have money to do things with. So debt doesn't need to be a part of your life at all. You can still get a mortgage following the Ramsey plan, but mortgage is going to be the only debt that you incur ever. And best case scenario, you can buy a house completely in cash. Let's go to the Reddit and answer some questions. Oh, like I typed in the comments that I was going to try to do 3 week starting out. I used to do a lot more. I used to do them just about every day, but work schedules and so forth. And so I did the last one like a week and a half ago, I think, something like that. Then some of the days I was going to do them, we had a power outage 2 different days within the same week at work, massive power outage in the area, and I worked some overtime, etc., etc. Excuses. But anyway, I'm here now, and maybe if I can get up early in the morning, I will do a Ramsey show after show. And if not, I'll do another night stream tomorrow night, but at 8 p.m. Okay, so we go to reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey, and we answer these questions that are on there that people post. And this is from 7 months ago. They keep 1,000 comments at a time, comments or questions, posts. They keep 1,000 of them at a time, and then they disappear. So I start from the bottom and work my way up so I don't miss any. This from sis_admin321. To retire early at 55, is having a paid off house a must? No, it's not. And what would Dave do, Flair? Normally, it's none of the dumb crap that you're thinking. Let's see. But just to give a quick answer, no, it's not a must. It makes it certainly easier if you're not making a mortgage or a rent payment. That would give you money to do other things with, to pay for the other expenses that you have in retirement. All right, let's see. So we look down here and we see there's ellipsis here at the end and partial word. So that means it's longer than will fit in this little space. So I went ahead and opened it in its own tab because I did show prep a little bit for today. Let's see. My wife and I are both 40. We have one kid, a 3-year-old son. We live in a rather modest, older 1,600 square foot home here in Ohio, OH. And yeah, you can do that. Much easier than Ohio than California or New York or pretty much anywhere on the east or west coast. We've done a bunch of improvements to it, and I guess are okay with staying in it for the time being. See, here's where you go. What would Dave do? You don't want to know what Dave would do because, yeah. However, there's always that itch to upgrade to something bigger and newer, especially when you see friends and family doing the same. Okay, you don't have to scratch every itch first, and second, if your friends and family jumped off a bridge, would you do that as well? You probably wouldn't. So you don't need to do dumb house buying either. People, have I said this before? And I know I have. People are nutty. So let's see what they go on to say. Right now we owe $80,000 on our home and have 10 years left on a 15-year mortgage at 2.4%. Wait a second. Oh, sorry. I apologize. What up, Sid the Kid? What's up? Yeah, I still haven't figured out my setup here. I have to look all the way over here on the other screen to do that. I need to get a better setup here. I'll continue working on it. Where were we? Oh, 80 grand on our home. 15 years at 2.4%. Total house payment with taxes, insurance, interest, and principal is $1,100 a month. And that's not bad at all. Again, Ohio. It was around 200K in equity if we did sell it to put towards another house. Okay, well, the Ramsey way to upgrade to another house is that you save money and you get the equity. So you have the 200 and then you save the rest for, and the total of those two should be what your house is. And then you're just buying it completely in cash. With cash you save and the equity. So you don't need to be upgrading and constantly having a mortgage and upgrading. You don't need to do that. 1,600 feet. I'm assuming it has 2 bedrooms. Guess what? That's all you need for a couple and 1 child. So what is the deal with it? You saw some friends doing it. Tough crap. If we move now, we feel like for them, it would be resetting the clock in terms of a mortgage. Well, you would if you get a mortgage. Yes, you would. I'm not sure we could swing a 15-year mortgage either with a significantly higher mortgage, right? And the rate's going to be higher than that too. And of course, that's with it, the financial bros will tell you not to pay off. You keep around the lower interest debt. And that's not the Ramsey advice. Whether the interest is 2.4% or 10,000%, baby step 6 is baby step 6. You pay off the home early. It doesn't matter that. We're not doing debt leverage. You don't do debt leverage. Where were we? Ideally, we want to retire at 55. Okay, so you see, you cannot do everything all in the same time span. That requires money. You're limited to the amount of money that you have. You cannot do it like that. So, do you want more so to retire at 55, or do you want more so to get a bigger house? And neither of those are necessary. You don't have to do either of those. Uh, if you retire at 55, you might be bored as crap sitting at home. Just looking at the numbers, I think the only way we can pull that off is if our house is paid off. Paid off, and so that then you would be able to get the full amount. Is that what they're talking about? Oh, to retire at 55 and so not have a house payment. Yeah, okay. So great. So retire at 55 and stay in the crap where you are. And you should not be taking 10 years to pay that off. You should be, again, it says right here, pay your home off early. Basically, that's ASAP, as soon as you can. You don't stretch out the entire loan ever. If you have, even back on baby step 2, you are paying off your all debt except the house, using debt snowball, and you pay it off as soon as possible, not as long as they will give you to pay for it. Because guess what happens? They make more money and you lose more money the longer you keep a loan active. Again, if we move, we feel like we would be resetting clock in terms of a mortgage. Didn't they already say that? Oh no, I already read it. My bad. Pull that off as if our house is paid off. Below our current retirement savings, $900,000. Okay, so if that's invested in good growth stock mutual funds, that should be making 10% a year. So let's even give them $1 million, and that generates $100,000 a year. What are you living on now? What does it take to live in Ohio? Not that much. Let's see. Didn't say what the house. They say the house payment. Oh, the house payment's only 1,100. Yeah, low interest rate. They should have been probably paying off more of it now. But 15% contribution rate. So that is correct. Okay, so it doesn't. The breakdown really doesn't matter. There's 2 small pensions involved as well. So that's what I say. We'll give them, just give them credit for $1 million right now. So that makes $100K a year. How much do you need to live on? And see that million gets to stay right in the brokerage account, 401K, Roth IRA, whatever it's in, and whatever it will be in later. If you move it. So the combined income is $190,000. I would have to say maybe they're paying for a lot of daycare. So that's 190, and again, you can live pretty good, pretty well in Ohio for that. Let's see, our plan to retire at 55 is to use the pension money to help pay health insurance bills until Medicare age. Yeah, see, you make little plans like that, and then you need more money for something. Something happens, and you need more money. Pensions in 15 years should be worth 200K. Again, hers 100K to assist with. Again, this is total value, not yearly, right? It's not that much then. Overall, we're contemplating moving now, as at 40 with a 15-year mortgage, we could still pay off the home by 55. Could you? Because you're not paying this off faster. So how are you going to pay off an even higher amount with a higher interest rate faster? How are you going to do that? So again, people just nutty, and they just, I want this. And they don't stop to look at, oh, I don't really need it. Maybe I won't get it. Boop, 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 boop. How long ago did say hi? She might not be watching. She might be multitasking. She's a multitasker. That's fine. So the answer is probably don't do either of these things. There's no need to do either of them, really. You can work longer than 55. I mean, if you get to close to 55 and it works out, I mean, you go another 10 years and see where you are then. You'll be in a lot better shape if you do not upgrade house for no reason other than you just want it. So that would be the Ramsey advice on that. And if you want it, the way to get it is to save all the cash. But you haven't been doing that. Where's all the money been going? Where's the 190 going? It's not going to the mortgage. If they're paying more on the mortgage than this 1100, they certainly didn't say, and that would have been good thing to know. So I got a feeling there's some spending happening, especially if they're looking at what everybody else is doing. All right, good first question. Let's see. Do you want cheeses? Cheese is decent. Let's see. I'm trying to regain footing during divorce and possibly totaled out my only vehicle. All right. Again, this is too long to fit in the small space. Sometimes there are small ones, short ones that actually fit in that small space. But here we go. I'm a stage 0 baby stepper. Yep, there is a baby step 0. And there are a ton of different things you do on baby step 0. Including that's where you decide you're not going to be a dumbass with money anymore. You're not going to do things just because your friends do them. Let's see, no emergency fund, poor credit. The credit doesn't matter. You only need credit if you're going to get a loan, and you're not going to get a loan on anything ever again, except again, perhaps a house. That would be it though. Let's see, credit card and student loan debt, and a 2017 Camry with high mileage. I still owe 12K on. Let's not a deer hit my car. That Camry causing suspension, front end, and possible frame damage. Due to mileage, the repair shop thinks it may be total. Yeah, let's see, suspension, front end, frame. I don't know if that's totaled. If that's going to cost more than 12K. I'm not a car person, so I don't know, but I would find that reasonable. I was already scheduled to have it checked for a loud whine and gear slippage. Yeah, so now suspected transmission issues. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I had a transmission problem. Guess what? I drove it until it wouldn't shift anymore. And then I got a new to me vehicle for $3,500. So again, that's how we do things here on in the Ramseyverse. I'm in the middle of a high conflict divorce due to my spouse hiding debt / assets. Okay, so I had both. And he is under investigation for felony, likely to be charged. Yeah, that's not fun at all. That doesn't help at all. It's a serious offense that, if convicted, would lead to an automatic job loss. Hell, if he's charged tomorrow, he'll probably be fired on the spot. Sure. We own a paid off home. That's good. Where I live with our minor child and my 2 adult children, 18 and 20. I'd like to keep the house, but don't know if that's wise. Is it partly in your name? In your name too, or not? Might not be if there's hiding debt, hitting debt and assets. He might be money controller, and it might only be in his name. Initial plan was to sell the vehicle, and then after giving him his share, what vehicle? there is no vehicle anymore, I thought. Or give a share or half buy a Toyota or something that was reliable while building up an emergency fund. Um, give him his share or half buy a 5,000 Toyota. I don't know what that means. The other half would be debt, and that's not going to be the answer for anything in the Ramsey verse. Again, income makes 70K, spouse makes 110K, net 1,900 bi-weekly after deduction. I'll owe 3K to the IRS this year. I will begin receiving 750 a month. 750 a month temporary support bi-weekly this Friday, but it may be short-lived due to his pending felony charges and possible job loss. Is for a support payment of 750 bi-weekly starts Friday. Okay. Currently have $30 in your bank account. Hey, guess what? You know what? If you don't have debt, that doesn't get that low ever, generally. There are ways to do it for sure. Because people are nutty enough to do that. No access to our marital funds in his separate account. Of course not. No rental coverage and no loaner vehicle. I drive for work as a civil servant. My car is my job. The civil servant. Now, if you drive for the government, got a great idea. Why can't they furnish you a car? I mean, if somebody has to work, there's lots of things that I would be upset about government using tax money for, because some of it's mine. And I would not like a lot of stuff. But them buying a car for people that drive for government work, which I know they do that. So why not for this person? If it's not that important enough to buy a car for, then maybe that's a job that doesn't need to be done anyway. It shouldn't have been a job. Anyway, getting off on a tangent here. He has $10,000 savings account he just disclosed to my attorney, and well, that was nice of him. Didn't have to do that. And I mean, maybe he had to by law, but could have kept his mouth shut, just like he did about hiding this stuff from you. And I was going to ask for a draw to try to get into some kind of car, but with no credit and no luck. Finding a $5,000 or $6,000 Toyota or Honda. It doesn't have to be a Toyota or Honda. People are so nutty. Get out of your little, it has to be this exact way or it's not going to be a way. Did you not hear me say I just got a vehicle for $3,500 and you can too? Maybe not as easily as I found one. Again, depends where you are. If you're in California, there may not be any used cars like that around. But maybe you just didn't look hard enough because maybe you just want a $5,000 or $6,000 car and you don't think you need to get lower than that, but you do need to because you have $30 in your bank account. Immediate priority is securing reliable transportation without digging a deeper hole so I don't risk my income. I'm overwhelmed. Right. So debt, again, not the answer. Overwhelmed in figuring out how to pivot out of this nightmare. I don't have anything for you because not there's a lot of things missing from this, but it really depends on the stuff that you're trying to do now, whether you can get some money from his savings account. Once I mean 750 every 2 weeks, so that's what 1,500 a month. That may be just living on money, but you work as well. 70K. So if you're not paying mortgage or rent, if you can live there still, then I don't see what the problem is. And again, that is if you can get $5,000 and you buy a $5,000 car. And it might not get to be a Toyota or Honda. And I'm sorry about that, but we don't get everything our way. And I know you got divorced. That happens to a lot of us. Fortunately, mine was nowhere near high conflict or any conflict. So as yours. So that I do feel sorry for this person, but I got not enough information here. But what I've talked about was the basic Ramsey rules anyway. And again, that's because that doesn't just apply to you if you are in the middle of a high conflict divorce, or even if you're getting divorced or staying married or any of that. It applies the same to everybody. And that's the beauty of it. Thank you, Dave. Debt free. Excellent. Baby step 6. Well, oh, yeah. Paid off a mortgage today. You're completely debt free. Guess what? That means you are actually on baby step 7. So you need to change your flair, Rusty. So cool. But congratulations. That is awesome. And that's why you do it. And you don't wait. I wonder what Rusty's interest rate was. And the financial bros would tell him to, oh, that's under 3 or under 5%. Oh, you need to keep that mortgage as long as you can so you can debt leverage it. No, you pay it off and then you're not making payments anymore. And then you have all that money. It's just not financial bro advice, dog. Then it's career situation. Let's check this out. Then it's career situation. Shoot if cute. Okay. Hello everyone. Hi guys. And see this one, the last one, and this one fit in the small space. I wanted to ask here, as I trust Dave and his plan fully. I have 2 offers for dental school at both Louisville and Detroit Mercy. I would say that Louisville, Kentucky, or Louisville, as they say, and Detroit are 2 really different places. That's what I would think. Anyway, interesting. So you may want to take a visit to both of them and then decide. Let's see, whichever I choose, I will be about 500K in debt. So, okay, so I trust Dave and his plan fully. His plan is for you to not go to dental school in debt. So if you already have that debt, you need to pay that off. If you have X amount of schooling left, I mean, it doesn't, if you haven't even been in dental school at all yet, so none of this applies to you, you cannot do it until you save up the money for it. So yeah, there's no loans, dog. Trusting Dave and his plan fully. You don't even know his plan fully, apparently. Let's see, 200K would be federal loans and the rest private loans. No, they wouldn't under Dave's plan. I do not have a cosigner. Hopefully you can't get that much in loans. My parents simply can't afford to cosign a loan this big. Right, and neither can you. You can't afford to primary sign it. I'm sure there's a actual legal term for the primary signer, but I don't remember it. The big beautiful bill changed things fully, as it used to be 1 grad plus loan and the rest would simply fall into place with time. Oh, I'm sorry. That's actually a good thing, probably. Anything that stops people from taking out loans is great. I'm heavily considering dropping this career and pursuing something else. Yes. You're not dropping the career because you didn't even start dental school yet. You just had a plan for it, and you think that, and that doesn't mean diddly. Let's see, I'm 21. I've maxed my Roth over the last 4 years. I just want a simple life for the family. I ask you all for your help, please, and thank you. Okay, and so if you were maxing a Roth, and planning to go to dental school, you should have been saving that money up for school. So you did it wrong. So yeah, you don't understand the no debt thing, and it doesn't. You're not an exception because you want to go to dental school in Louisville or Detroit. Did I open it up in a new? I certainly did. Oh, it was. It was bigger than that. That's why I opened it in a new tab. Just a little bit bigger than that space allows, and this again fits in the space. I donut or L donut. I think I donut. 246I 2461 donut. Overpaying mortgage versus investing. You do both at the same time. What would Dave do? Let's read it. Before I tell you the answer, like I start to do all the time, what's the consensus on overpaying a mortgage before starting to invest? Okay, so this is not overpaying it. It's paying extra so you pay it off early, which is exactly what you're supposed to do in 4, 5, and 6. Steps 4, 5, and 6. We'll take a look at those in a second. We have an interest rate of 6.6%. Awful, I know. On the house, I got on the mortgage. So if you weigh it against the average return, see, we don't do that. It's to get out of debt, to pay off your house. So we don't weigh it against crap. So, and what would Dave do? Not weigh it against crap like you are. No debt leverage, and weighing it against an average return of 9% in the stock market is 10 to 12 actually. So you don't know what you're talking about. You're doing it wrong. Anyway, then the opportunity cost is, see, none of this stuff is Dave. So, and some people know this and they type in questions like this too, but some people are just dumb and think they're actually following Dave's advice, but they're doing financial bro crap instead. Anyway, but the 6.6 is guaranteed saving. Yes, it is. And that's something you would put money in if you were saving it for a purchase. If you're saving for retirement, it's going to be in there 30 plus years anyway. So you leave it there because, oh, it will come back. It always comes back. And, crypto may, where are we at? Crypto may, Bitcoin may, but it doesn't look like it to me. This is when the high was over a year ago, and don't really hear much from the crypto dudes anymore. Don't really hear much from them. So yeah, it's just not stable enough, and there's not a reason to think it's going to go up every time. On the other hand, well, shit, I love to go by the Nasdaq instead of the S&P because the Nasdaq has beaten the S&P's butt most of the years out of the last 20. People of tech. What was it? Oh yeah, I was gonna go max here. See, oh look. It's harder to see here, but I see a couple of dips, but then look, goes back up. Does it take a year to get back? After the pandy crash right there, which looks so small, let's go to 5 years. And oh yeah, the pandy crash is way back there even. Oh no, it's not. That's 20. Not too far back. Um. Oh, here, no, here it is. I think. No, that's not it. That's another thing. Um. Wow. Let's see. When is it? Thought it was right there. Yeah, 2020. So that's the Pandy crash. Within 5 months, I think. 5 months it was back. Yeah, and it'll go up and it'll come down, but it didn't go back to even, it still kept the recovery after the Pandy, still kept that amount. And then recently got a new high. So, this looks a lot better than the crypto one, than the Bitcoin one here. Or the max. Yeah, see, I'm not seeing that constantly go up. Even if it drops some, it constantly goes up and goes on to a new high. A year is a long time these days for that to happen. And here's a long valley here too. How long is that? November 2021 and May 2024. That's 3 years, babe, right here. 3 years it took to get back to here even. So nothing that you're looking at here is telling you, oh yeah, that's going to be anywhere near. Look, it's a 64,000 something. It was at what, 110? So yeah. And I don't recall why I brought that up. Something about this. Financial bros and stuff, and talking about the um, opportunity cost, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, where the risk of losing money, yes. Well, but no, not really. Yeah, that's why I did it. So you could see that unless America collapses like Rome did, eventually did, um, then you're going to be fine. Because guess what? You're not day trading with that money. And if you are day trading with it, that's not something Mr. Ramsey advises either. Let's see, there's aspects that can make overpaying the mortgage first, such as getting to a 20% equity faster so you don't have to pay PMI. Yes, and your dumb ass should have been doing that to begin with rather than doing any non-retirement investing. But let's see, edit, we both already put 15% into a Roth 401k. Okay, that's great. And that's exactly what you should be doing. So steps 1, 2, and 3, you do one at a time until each one is completed, and then you move on to step 2. And then when that's done completely, you move on to step 3. And when that's done completely, you shouldn't be investing before that. You stop investing while you take care of steps 1, 2, and 3, which all 3 of those are more important than investing at that point. So, but then you do steps 4, 5, and 6. If you don't have any kids, then that doesn't apply to you. You do get to skip that if you don't have kids. You don't save for possible children. You don't save if you're planning it. That's the same thing as possible children. So just wait. Second you get pregnant, knock yourself out, be on baby step 5. But until then, the money goes for the 15%, and you keep it at 15%. You don't do 30% and not put more on the house. You do 15%, and any extra money you have, you would pay off that house early. In case you weren't aware of it. So you're doing it wrong. You have a understanding problem with the Ramsey advice in it that you don't do that, or you're trying to push the Dave advice and the financial bro advice together and mold them and think that Dave would be fine with it. No, because what would Dave do? Flair here, you put that on purpose, so you would think that you would. I don't know. It's just dumb. You think that you would want to know what Dave is doing, but everything you're saying is, I don't want to do Dave's plan. I don't want to do Dave's plan. I don't want to do Dave's plan. The beauty of it, you don't have to do it. So then why waste your time typing all that? I don't get it. Jordan Blue Man, higher mortgage versus higher investments. Again, you don't have to buy a bigger house. Let's see. Hello, I kind of recently started having Dave's financial advice recommended to me as I've been paying down a lot of debts recently. Great. Learn it, know it, live it. Quit bringing up the dumb financial bro crap that you're getting ready to bring up. I'm almost certain of it. Because you don't go versus here, you don't compare it. You follow his advice, no matter what this number is or that number is. Your finances will be much better off, I assure you. Finally done with my student loans. Great. So don't screw it up. I'm building up my emergency fund. Great. Don't screw it up. And if this person doesn't say anything financial broy, then I will apologize. But I believe it's coming shortly. And I wonder what y'all would think of this from Dave's perspective and from your own. From our own doesn't matter. From our own is not proven. Okay, you just want somebody to agree with you if you're adding that in, is what I'm guessing. So recently married, late 20s, still a baby. That's some editorial comment from me because I'm old. Just had a birthday last week. Looking to buy a house in the next few years. We don't have much savings yet, but without debt, we should be able to save relatively quickly. Yeah, that's the idea. How are you going to screw it up now? Let's see. We also have access to a non-retirement investments account that's been growing over time. Currently sitting around 170K, not liquid. No, you're not supposed to do that. That all should have been liquidated to pay off any debt. And so if you have debt still, you do not debt leverage whatever you have debt still on in order to have this 170K brokerage fund. You don't do that crap. Let's see. And not liquid, it can be if it's a brokerage account. You just have to sell all the investments that it's in, and then you can take that out and take care of your debt. For the sake of the numbers, we're looking to buy something in the $380,000 range. A house, I guess. Did he say? Oh, yeah. Said it right here. Looking to buy a house. That's why it sounded familiar. For six, okay, 380,000 range. We're told, what money do we make? We're told the investments account is expected to be worth around $2 million when we're 65 if we leave it to grow and don't take anything out of it. Okay. We're told that it's expected to be. So you can't go by that. You can't go by that. Obviously, the only way that it does that is if you leave it there forever. And if you are leaving it there forever and continuing, especially if you're continuing to put money into it, you should be doing a Roth 401k or a Roth IRA so that you get tax advantage in addition to the great investment that is. You can do that and be in the same investment that you're in. It'll just be in a tax advantaged account instead of just the brokerage account, which is not tax advantaged. Let's see, aside from that account, right, and you're not going to wait until 65 to do that, but the 2 million should. If the average stays the same by then, that'll make $200,000 a year without touching the 2 million. 2 million will stay in there forever, and then you could leave it to somebody. Aside from that account, we both have standard. Oh, okay, they got that too. 401k, 403b. Okay, you should not have the brokerage account other than for a house, but maybe that is what it's for. So, okay. Questions on this: is it smarter to rent for extra couple of years, put a 20% down payment on a house, and leave the investments to grow? Or is it smarter to stop renting quickly, liquidate the investments, and put a 30 to 35 down payment on a house in order to be able to afford lots of extra payments, reduce interest, and own the house 5 to 10 years earlier? Yeah, do that. If the money in the brokerage account is for a house and you want to buy a house very soon, then yeah, that would be where the money comes from. Does getting rid of the much earlier in life increase our current financial stability? Yes, because you're using cash. You're not getting a mortgage. Oh, a 30 to 35 percent down payment. Oh yeah, because they are richies. Let's see, 380. You have 170. So that's 340, right? Yeah, that's 340. So you'd only have a $40,000 mortgage. So here's the thing. See, you liquidate every freaking cent out of that. You don't just see people are so nutty. Okay, we'll liquidate investments, but I need money to do other things with. No, you don't. It's in the brokerage account for the house, right? Um, so you don't just put a 30 to 35, you put a 60, 70, 80, or you buy the house outright if you have enough money, which you don't if it's going to be a 380. But so you have to be making what's the math on that? It's what is it? 4 times um income, so that is 190 and half of 190 is 50 and 45, 95. Yeah. So you got to be making 95K then. I think that math is right on that. Um, a lot of practice. It's been a while since I've done this every day, so bear with me. I'll get back into it and remember everything eventually. Not everything, probably, but mostly. Have the standard retirement plans. Okay, great. Enough on their own to be, I think, financially stable in retirement, if not particularly wealthy. Yeah, it will be, especially if you don't have house payments. You can invest more if you don't have a house payment. So that's why you don't keep extra money out and not put it towards the down payment. If the money was saved to buy a house, you use it to buy a house. Let's see. The question comes down to this: is smarter to rent for extra couple of years, put a 20. Oh, we already read it. Sorry. Blah, 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 blah. Does getting rid of the mortgage much? Oh, I already read this. Increase our financial stability covered up to be worth giving up being richer when we're 65. No, if you, I don't see why that has to be you be worth giving up being richer? You can. So if you want to just keep investing that money, then don't get a house, then rent forever. See, you cannot have everything. So you do have to choose. So getting rid of it much earlier in life, so you don't want to, you want to do debt leveraging, you want to keep the mortgage around while you invest more again. So see, I knew there was going to be, there's something, I don't know. I don't know exactly what's going on in this person's brain. So, oh, let's see if, normally I don't do this, but I want to see if that person, OP, there he is. I guess I'm just underestimating the value of being rich at 65 versus having a lot of money and security in my 40s. Because on the one hand, I'd love to be, yeah, there's always hands. They could do this or this. Yeah, and sometimes you got to choose. But if you want to do the best thing financially, you would follow the Ramsey plan, no matter what's going on in your little brain. Just paid off our house. Hey, Big T 2024. Do you think Big T regrets it? I don't think so. So excited. Just sent in the check to pay it all off. Excellent. Tuna Ego Fund. Or is like the British, and I think maybe the Aussies as well. For some reason, they say CH, even though it's a letter T there. They somehow turn that into tuna. I don't know why. These are the things I think about instead of sleeping at night. Recommendations for paying off student loan debt. Do it. That's the recommendation. Good evening, all. I have $48,000 in student loan debt. The Department of Education keeps putting off loan repayment. All right. Are they putting off interest as well? Because if not, you're dumb to not be paying it off. If so, you're still dumb to not be paying it off. I was supposed to recertify by the end of this year and find out what my monthly payments would be in the new year, but in October I received a notice that they extended my forbearance yet even longer again until 2027. That's crazy. Are we gonna ever say, hey, how about we get that money? I've been in forbearance since I graduated in 2021. Oh, graduated. Good. That means you got an expensive job that's going to pay for that 48,000. And so that was 5 years ago, babe. So you've been working for 5 years. You don't have 48,000 extra by now. And that's fine if they won't let you pay it off. That's fine. Put it in a high yield savings account and let it make you some money until they want the money. But you don't be spending it. Make sure you have it when it comes due and you pay it all off. Biden administration attempted to help by giving a lot of people debt forgiveness, but that obviously didn't work out. That's right. It's cap. A couple people got it, most didn't. And I'm sure the Trump administration, trying to clean up what they attempted to do with the Department of Ed, has prolonged this, but I want to start paying it down now. Great. Do that. Like I said, if they won't let you give them money, you put the money, all of it, $48,000 in a high yield savings account and let it make you a little bit of money while you're waiting for the government to get their act together, which it could take a long time and it might not ever happen. But if it does and they say, yeah, we want the money, then that way you pay it off completely and you don't have to pay any more interest. Oh, it has been accruing interest all along, right? So I wonder if that's some kind of government ploy so that they can keep making interest off of you. Granted, they're not getting any because they're not letting you pay. But I don't know. I wouldn't put it past the government to do some dumb stuff like that. My wife and I are now at a point in our careers where this just makes sense to start paying it back. Sure, but despite not being required to, Oh, hey, yeah, guess what? If you can send them money and they will mark it paid in full, you do that. I know prolonging this even longer is just foolish with the interest. Yes. With shared income, make a little over $176,000 a year. Yep. I didn't know the debt aside from our $2,600 a month mortgage at the ridiculous interest rates of 7.2%. Wah. You're the one that signed up for it, dog. Hoping that it gets below 6% soon and maybe we can refinance. See, you're dumb as crap. You're more concerned about 1% of that than you are about your student loans, your dumb student loans. So, yeah, if you can send them the money and they will mark it paid in full, you do that. I thought their little thing was they weren't allowing you to pay it off either. So, but yeah, you would still pay it off. Because you see, if you look at the Dave advice, that's step two. It doesn't matter forbearance. It doesn't matter whether it's accruing interest or not. None of the outside stuff matters. It's debt. It's consumer debt, non-mortgage debt. That means it goes in step two. And so you better not be investing a cent. You better not have cash laying around other than your $1,000 emergency fund. You don't do step three, the full emergency fund. You don't do that until all of your non-mortgage debt is paid off, and yours is not. Now, I would let you consider it paid off if you put it in a high yield savings account while they get their act together if needed. But if they will take the payment, you do it. Again, I mean, it's so easy. People always think that their little situation changes the Dave advice, and it does not. It is the 100% the exact same for everybody. Five gone. Any single people paid off their mortgage by themselves? I'm sure they did. Baby step 6. I assume this person is a single person trying to pay off theirs, or they already did it. 32. We'll find out. I'm 32. This fits in the small space as well. 32 and just about to be completely debt free besides my mortgage. Oh, haven't started on the big payoff yet, but going to be. Mortgage is 257K with 7.5 waiting to refinance. Again, that the 1% you save, yeah, it's some money, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not that important as these people are putting on it. Doesn't deserve the importance they're putting on. I definitely hit the definition of house poor. Yep. Should you have done that per the Ramsey advice? No. But I'm able to deal with it because I live frugally. Well, that's one of the things you got to do if you want a nice house. I'm really motivated right now to go balls to the wall and try to pay off my house. Do or do not. There is no try. But 257K is a daunting task. Hey, got a great idea. You're single, move down in house. As a nurse that makes $44 an hour. Any success stories of people doing it by themselves? I'm sure there are, and it's more if people have a cheaper mortgage than that, a mortgage amount. So, yeah, so you don't have to stay in that house. See, you want to stay in that house, I bet, and you don't have to, but I feel like this person is doing it wrong because already has step 6 here and says just about to be completely debt free besides my mortgage. Well, you still have step 3 to do. If you have step 3 already done, you're doing it wrong because you're not completely debt free beside the mortgage. You're doing it wrong. And then once that's done, then it is 4, 5, and 6 all at the same time. Single, so child may not be involved either. So it's just steps 4 and 6. but you are supposed to be investing at least 15% while you are putting extra money on the house as well. So again, any single people paid off their mortgage by themselves, yeah, and I'm sure they might not have bought a $257,000 plus house. They may this time who knows how many years this was ago. 7.5 interest rate, maybe not that long ago. But you could have got a cheaper house. So my name is Paul, and this is between y'all, and you and yourself. But yeah, you're not on step 6 if you have not. You're on steps 4 and 6. But at worst, you're still on baby step 2. Or if you have paid it off by now, this 7 months ago, then that's when you do your full emergency fund. Unless you did it wrong by doing it in the wrong order. Bearded Bandit 1001. This one's a longer one, not by that much though. Baby step 2. Familiar with it. I've been talking about it. As the title indicates, I'm on baby step 2. Congratulations. I would like everyone's thoughts. You don't need everyone's thoughts, because people are going to have different thoughts about what to do, and there's only one that's right, and that's Mr. Ramsey's thought on it. I'm anticipating a tax return of around $7,000 this year. Hey, guess what? Any extra money goes to whatever baby step you're on. Hey, you're in baby step 2. I wonder where that 7,000 is going to go. If your total baby step 2 amount, all your non-mortgage debt is less than 7,000, great. Then you can put that towards baby step 3, the full emergency fund. But that money's gone. It's spoken for already by the baby steps. You're the one that said you were on baby step 2. You didn't say, "Oh, I'm just looking at advice. I don't know what I'll do." You said you're on baby step 2, so you might be doing it wrong. So many people do it wrong. I just rolled 2 credit cards into a balance transfer card for. Okay, see, we don't do that. We don't do that. We just pay it off. Quit being dumb. Totally $6,900. Imagine that. So then you'll have $100 left to start your full emergency fund with. Great. But that might not be all of the debt though. So might not have that extra 100. I also have my car, which I owe about $6,500. Interest 4.2. Yeah. Guess how much I have on mine? Mine did not cost $6,500. Mine cost $3,500. And I have no interest rate because I paid. What did I pay with? Cold hard cash. My current payment on my car is $360 a month. I'm living very tight right now with only about $200 extra per month. I know Dave says to pay off the lowest balance first. Well, guess what? Then do that, you idiot. Do that. You bother to go on the Dave Ramsey subreddit. You are familiar enough with his advice to know that you're on baby step 2. And you know what he says to do. So why are you asking? That means generally, not 100%, but that means generally that you want to do something else and you want people on Reddit to agree with you so you feel better about it, but you know you're doing it wrong. Does paying the car off first still make sense? No. Or yeah, you pay off the lowest one. Yeah. Yep, you pay off the lowest one. On top of it being a slightly lower balance, no. Dude. Does paying the car off first still make sense? It's lowest to small, smallest to largest. On top of it being a slightly lower amount, the extra 360 would be huge for my day-to-day mental well-being. Wah! Wah! You know what else would be good for your day-to-day well-being? Would be to be out of debt, and Mr. Ramsey's plan and what he says to do, that will make that happen faster. Your finances will be in a better state. And then guess what? You know what's going to happen from that, from your finances being better? Your day-to-day mental well-being will be better, you idiot. Also, that 360 would be nice to pay big chunks on the credit card. See, the little, oh, it would be nice to pay big chunks on the credit card. Eee. We don't decide financial matters with, oh, what would be nice? What would be cute? What would be nice to pay big chunks? That's so stupid. I may have answered my own question, but the vice is still a credit. Yeah, you did. You did. Because you said what Dave said to do, so all this was wasted. Some idiots in the chat, in the comments down here, maybe something's pretty clear on this. Yep, that person's right. Now, that was much more concise than I was, but he's not trying to fill up an hour. I'll probably go longer than that tonight. He's not trying to fill up an hour of time. But that was very concise. I'm very proud of him for that. But I should have just done that. That's idiot calling probably. Oh well. Some people are nutty. I love passion fruit. All right. Should we sell our house? What would Dave do? Opening in the new tab. Reposted to explain it. Betty Davis eyes. She got Betty Davis eyes. 22-4, bought a 4-bedroom house. It's in a smaller town, about 38 miles from my husband's job, about an hour each way. Hey, you know what? If the husband had the job there first, then you don't buy that 4-bedroom house. Did I mention that people are nutty? I don't know if I mentioned that or not. He goes in the office 1 to 2 days a week. Oh, that's okay. Well, that's all better, but still not great. I mean, 1 to 2 days a week, I still wouldn't want to drive an hour. New construction house, $365,000, 20%, $73,000. Okay. We realized we made a mistake buying this house since it dependent on 2 incomes. Yes, because I mean, people do that all the time too. That's just like women that take out the loans, take out the student loans. My goal is for me to be a stay-at-home mom for an 18-year-old. Yeah, exactly what I was gonna say. They, God forbid, they go to medical school, and then all of a sudden, like as soon as they're done with all their classes and they get a real job and start making a lot of money, they get pregnant and want to stay home with baby. Yeah. So you need to be considering that before you get all those student loans. See, when you get all those student loans, and especially people justify them for something like being a doctor, that I will be making a lot of money, and so I can pay off the loans fast. Yeah, you can if you are working and not at home with your baby. Now, granted, staying home with the babies, that's fabulous. Highly recommend, but then you can't be doing stuff like taking out student loans to become a doctor or any student loans. We have about 5,000 in savings. Yeah, that's not a lot. That's not a lot. I mean, that's probably not even an emergency fund amount that you would need. 3750, 3100 combined is 6850. Thank you for doing the math for me, but I got the same thing in my head, so confirmed. Not today, dementia. Our mortgage payment this year in 2026, including taxes, insurance, and HOA, is 2,800. Yeah, higher due to underpayment on property taxes last year. Yeah, that's why you got to pay the right amount. Hoping in 2027 the payment should go down to 2,400. Okay. We're debating if we should sell our house and rent an apartment back in the city closer to my husband's work. Probably yes, due to being away from your husband's work, even if he does have to go in 1 or 2 days only. And also, if you want to stay home with the baby. Our realtor thinks we won't lose our whole deposit. What deposit? In December 2024, I mean the down payment, you mean? What you talking about, Willis? Um, where is it? Won't lose our whole deposit. Maybe walk away with 30 to 40K. I guess means like everything that they've paid so far, like equity. That's what they're talking about. They'll have 30 to 40,000 equity. If we get that, it could become an emergency fund. Yeah, and that's exactly where it should go. We could rent a 2 bedroom for about 1,500 back in the city. Okay, and that is very possible here in Ohio. So obviously not on the coast. Congratulations. I'll save more money per month and get closer to our goal of me being a stay-at-home mom. Yeah. One of our concerns is as well is if something happens to one of our jobs, we may struggle to get another job with our hourly rate and struggle to pay our mortgage. Yeah. What would y'all do and why? Yeah, it sounds like a good idea. You just need to contemplate all the ifs, which is from the movie Pulp Fiction, which the shirt is as well. This is the one that John Travolta's character borrowed from Quentin Tarantino's character after his suit and Samuel L. Jackson's character's suit got messed up. But what were we all doing? Why? Yeah, I would just make sure that you're not gonna be like, oh, I'd rather have a house. Um, you need to weigh everything, and if by a decent margin that being a stay-at-home mom is the most important thing to you both, very important to you both, then yeah, for sure, do that. I think that would make you guys happier. Definitely make you happier. Um, right, lifeguard 388 8. How much financial guidance is too much in a relationship? Beep beep boo doo. And when does it become a deal breaker? Well, if your beloved is a Ramsey coach, Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach, then you might expect to hear some Ramsey financial advice from time to time. But let's see what's up here. Hi everyone. Open perspective from people who follow Dave's principles and may have been in a similar situation. Oh, okay. So you're talking about you follow Dave's principles, and this guy, I'm assuming, is a financial bro. And generally, that's not going to work because in order for that to work, you guys would have to have so much compromise, as we learned from Stranger Things season 2. 25 female. debt-free, financially stable. Congratulations. Make about $40,000 take home. And currently have around 18K in savings. Very intense about my money and long-term planning. Great. My boyfriend and I live together, not married. Speaking of Dave's principles, that's a no from him. You want to live together, you get married first. If you're not sure if you want to marry him, you don't live together. Let's see, he's 27 and makes about 50K take home. He has about 3K in credit card debt, 35K in student loans, and 12K left on his truck. He has a great work ethic. Justification station here. And we'll pick up extra hours or side work whenever possible, which I genuinely admire. Okay, well then what's your problem then? Yeah, obviously you think he's cool. What's your problem? His debt? Him being a crypto, not a crypto bro. Maybe he's a crypto bro, who knows? Well, let's see, we've been together about 3 years, but it wasn't until last spring that I became fully aware of the extent of his financial situation. Since then, I've tried to support him by encouraging better financial habits. Yeah, see, he doesn't think they're better, and that's the problem. Helping him become more aware, right? And he may think he was already aware and think he may still believe, even after you told him that he was not more aware. He still may think he was. Even connecting him with my own financial advisor whom he's met with a few times. Well, that's good that he at least did that and went to listen anyway. I want to be very clear. I'm not paying any of his debt. That's not the problem. I don't think that's the problem. You've bolded it. Thank you, though. We do not combine finances and we split trade bills 50-50. Okay, that's good, but you shouldn't be living together at all. I also understand that his finances are not my responsibility to manage or fix. Yep. That said, I do believe it's important to be aware of each other's financial situation, level of responsibility before ever considering marriage. Seeing his situation really realizing how much I've had to initiate awareness around it has made me concerned about what a future together could look like. Okay, so the problem is, granted, been 3 years. Understand? I mean, breakups are hard even after a couple weeks. So I get it. But you are allowed to pick the deal breaker for you. And if him being a financial bro is a deal breaker for you, you can bounce. Bounce. So hopefully the apartments in both names, or not just more specifically, not just in your name. Hopefully that. So there's not going to be any fallout from that. But you're the one, you get to decide what your deal breakers are. Even 3 years later, you get to decide it. Also understand, oh, we already did that. Here's where things about become more concerning. I was already concerned plenty. I already gave you permission to have that be your deal breaker. Not today, Dementia. His dad has been handling his student loans for years. Over the past couple of months, I've encouraged my boyfriend multiple times to get details about them from his dad, as he didn't even know the login info to his account or the amount left owed, but he kept putting it off, of course. Recently, while looking into options to transfer his credit card balance to a card with 0% APR intro over, we checked his credit card and discovered that his dad had stopped making the student loan payments a year ago without him realizing it. Okay, guess what? I would say once you're 21, daddy needs to stop managing and having anything to do with any of your money stuff, including debt. This guy is nutty for sure. And see, he's just not like doing things at all like you would do them. So with with this money stuff, it seems like you guys don't have anything in common. And I mean, I guess we didn't talk about it when we were first getting together. You know, I mean, it can be awkward. People don't want to talk about money stuff because it's like not very romantic, that kind of thing. I get that. But this is why you do it. You do bring it up. You don't have to, you know, if you are a Ramsey follower, you don't have to you don't have to give them the whole spiel and all like that. But you can get a general idea of, is this guy going to have debt or whatever? Or just let them do more of the talking and then they will give themselves away if they're a financial bro. Loans went into default. His credit score dropped significantly. Yep. And there's now concern about possible wage garnishment. Yeah, you know, and that doesn't make me want to stay around. That's like we were here on the, was it a bar graph? Or bar graphs can be vertical as well, right? You're on the bar graph for before when I said, yeah, it can be a deal breaker. You add some chunk like this into it, and then I guess we're going up. So I'm still fine with it. Finally prompted to take action, but what bothers me most is not the debt itself, is that it feels like I'm usually the one thinking about these things and initiating the conversation before anything happens. Yeah, because he don't care. He doesn't care enough about it, or doesn't know that he should be caring as much about it. Who knows? I mean, Daddy was controlling the student loan, supposedly paying it. Maybe he was raised that way. Who knows? Who knows? And again, that's fine for that to be a deal breaker for you. Conversations about money only happen when I initiate them. Yeah, he doesn't want to talk about it. And the reason he might not want to talk about it is because you say the same stuff every time. And that's not how he wants to operate his finances. Often becomes stress when finances come up. Yeah, because he has debt. And now, especially now, he could be having his wages garnished. He doesn't want to have financial talk now. That's why you do it in the early days. Hey, guess what? If your relationship can't handle a little general talking about money in the fairly early days, then guess what? You shouldn't be with that person anyway. Understand money causes him a lot of anxiety. Yeah, no, it's not money, it's the lack of it. It's being in debt is what causes the anxiety. Having a bunch of money doesn't really cause that many people anxiety. I'm sure some it does. Some are like, oh no, I got all this money. Oh no, what I might spend it. I might invest it wrong or something like that. So I'm sure people do that too. But yeah, it's the debt that he has, and because he wasn't looking over his own finances. He wasn't the master of his domain in that area. So default response is avoidance. When I push, he does engage, not usually happily. You don't have to, now as dad's controlling it, you don't have to be mommy controlling it, or even girlfriend or wife controlling it. And generally makes the right decisions, but long term, I don't want to live a life where I'm always driving, reminding, and carrying the emotional weight of responsible uh, financial responsibility. And that's fine. Well, then don't do it. You get to choose. I don't think it's wrong to need help or guidance, sure, but he doesn't want your help or guidance. I mean, if he has said he wants help or guidance, he wants you to tell him what he wants to hear, and maybe he wants you to give him some money. I don't know. Especially if someone never has strong financial role models. Yeah, that's right. But he has to want it, and he doesn't want to change. What I struggle with is knowing where the line is between being supportive and becoming the financial parent. Yeah, you probably already crossed it. You probably already crossed it. And it doesn't, again, his reactions matter more than you knowing when to stop. I love him. I do believe he's trying to improve. Okay, can the two be happening at the same time? Can they? You get to choose all this. I mean, all you had to do is think about it. Why couldn't you think about it and come up with the answer? You had to type all this stuff, and a lot of people do this, and especially when they start pointing out the person's good points and stuff like that, you just don't want to deal with the breakup. And I get that, but that's probably better for you than staying with this person. I see his potential. That's crap too. Um, Everybody has potential to do stuff, but he's not going to do the stuff that would cause his potential to come into being. He's not going to do that. From what I can tell, I don't know him. You know him better than me. If you have a different opinion, that's why you are the one that gets to choose whether you stay with this guy or not. And again, you did it wrong too by moving in with him. It takes two people to move in. I'm sure the same long-term goals, and is that even true? You need to revisit everything at this point. You don't want to ignore red flags and wake up years from now still managing everything, right? So that means you need to not now still managing everything. You need to stop right now. And if he doesn't improve, you just tell him, hey, I'm here to help if you want to talk it through, or like make a plan or something like that and bounce it off somebody. I'm here, but I would stop the controlling kind of thing, the same as his dad. I would stop trying to be anything like that. Be as far away from his dad's behavior as you can. How do you tell the difference between someone who's generally growing versus someone who only improves when pushed? If they're only improving when pushed, then that means they don't want to that much. And they could be only doing it to shut you up. And also between someone who's genuinely growing, the fact that you love him may mean that you have kind of blinders on and you can't be a good judge of that either. So it's rough. It's tough. At what point does financial avoidance become a deal breaker even if there's effort? Guess which one of us gets to make that decision? That would be you, and that is 100% up to you. You know where your line is. You just need to stick to your guns and bounce if you're there at that line. How do you step back without abandoning someone? Again, you just stop doing your pushing the part. You just stop bringing it up every day. But every day you can say, I'm here to help you with anything. You can talk to me about anything. That kind of thing. Let's see. I really appreciate any insight. Especially for people who've been on either side of this. Thank you. Too long didn't read. That would be your Kiyo, dear. And where was that up at the beginning? No, I'm kidding. The details are important in this case for 100% for sure. So yeah, you get to choose the deal breaker. My pal AJ doesn't like that word at all. Doesn't think there should be any deal breakers or so. I don't know if he says there never should be or not, but I know I brought it up one time and he was like, Or maybe it was just that one thing in that specific situation that he thought shouldn't be a deal breaker. I don't know. I will, if I remember, I won't. I'll ask him what that was about to see if he remembers. Okay, Recover 8014. Question about total amount needed for retirement. Well, here's the thing. Nobody knows for sure. And if somebody says they know for sure, oh my goodness, an hour 30. An hour 30 has gone by. Feels like almost nothing. Okay, Recover 8014. Question about total amount needed for retirement. And the reason that we don't know how much is needed is because we don't know what it's going to cost for you to live at that point. We don't know. You can guess it, you can estimate it, you can try to plan it out. And I love the people that try to plan out their entire life of money. Like at 19, they go all the way to 65 and they have like all different things. It's not going to work out like that, is the short answer. Let's see, I'm reading for a married couple the ideal. I'm reading for a married couple. Oh, the ideal number you need to retire is anywhere from 2.5 million to $3 million. Okay, now the amount that you need for retirement is enough to generate, on average, the amount you need to leave, to the amount you need to live for that year. So, for example, if you have $1 million in the market, that's going to generate around $100,000. If you can live on $100,000, which hopefully your house is paid off by then, hopefully you don't have any debt, that kind of thing, then in that case, you should be able to make it with $100,000. So 1 million should be fine even for a married couple. Let's see. Now I know this number varies widely based off of now you spend, how you spend, I guess, how much you spend. However, my question, yeah, it does. So, I mean, if you're going to spend $90,000 on crap, then that only be $10,000 for living expenses. Then that's not going to be enough. Anyway, let's see how much you spend. However, my question is that total number. Does the total number include value of your house, assuming it's paid off? No, that is a separate thing because that's not in. I mean, should be gaining equity because it appreciates generally. 99% of the time, a house will appreciate in value. So you're getting that, but you're not making money off the value of your house until you sell it. So that has nothing to do with it. Yeah, it's just your cash to 401k and investments. Yeah. Yeah, that would be it. It has nothing to do with the house. You want the house to be paid off so you're not making that payment and you don't have to do that in retirement. Paid off house will help greatly in retirement because you're not making a house payment or a rent payment. Cool. Necessary Spring 129 show. Does anyone know when new shows will be available on YouTube? They are available the next weekday, the next business day, Monday through Friday. From when they're taped, they're no longer shown that same afternoon. It goes to the next business day. So, for example, Friday's show, they record it from 4 to, right? I don't even remember that now. What time is it? It is 3 Eastern time, I think. 3 Eastern time, 2 Pacific. I think I can't remember. Anyway, it's 3 hours in the afternoon, and they are in the um, Maybe today is the day, dementia. What is that? What time zone is that? Not mountain, is it? I'm in Eastern, and so it's the one next because it's Tennessee. Anyway, so yeah, it's available on YouTube, but it's not live. It's recorded live the previous day. I can't remember if you can watch it live on the Ramsey app, maybe, but there, as last I heard, there's no chat on there, so that's not fun for me. Which is why I don't know all about it, but that's from what I remember. No split, 9079. Need advice what to do next. Hi, I'm 29 man based out of UAE. That would be United Arab Emirates. That's pretty good. Couldn't remember the time zone that Mr. Ramsey is in, but I can remember United Arab Emirates. Been a keen follower of the Ramsey method over the last few years. Great. Wife and I recently got married. Congratulations. So we're currently in the process of figuring out what our next steps should be as a new couple and what those goals look like. That is 100% up to y'all. There's no law that you have to do anything. Or what do the average people do? That doesn't matter. You guys do your own stuff. Currently, I have no debts, cards paid off, no student loans, no credit card debt. And what a fabulous way to start a marriage. That is fabulous. And at 29, and might not even have ever had debt, maybe. And that's the best thing to do. Here are our financial figures. Combined household, 160K. Retirement funds investment, no concept of 401k here. Defect to America. So I manage investment portfolio myself. Okay, 40K. Combined savings, 75K. Monthly income. Yeah, that may be too much in savings unless it's for a specific purpose, like a house or something like that, maybe which may be for. Our monthly income is $12,000 monthly income, and we are able to live on 4 to 5K a month. Great. And put aside majority off to investments and savings. Okay. You should have the full emergency fund, which if 75K is that, then that's fine. And then you should be doing 15% into retirement. Right, utilities 1.6K per month included in the expense account amount mentioned above. So that's including included in the 4 to 5K per month. That's okay, got it. We went to save for a house together, and the budget we have in mind is $350,000. So combined household income is 160K a year. So that would be so 4 times it. 32 and 32. That's 640. So your mortgage can be 640. Is that right? Yeah, 25%. Yeah. So 4 times. So yeah, so that budget is fine. You just have to save up for it. We want to save. Oh yeah, I think my ticker is wrong. On some Wednesdays, yep, like today. Thursdays and Fridays. Oh, could be tomorrow is Wednesday morning. Yeah, like tomorrow for the 11:05 Ramsey show after show. The answer questions 8 p.m. Eastern. Possible most days other than Thursdays and Fridays, right? Okay, yeah, that's correct. I think I had it wrong on last stream, but I fixed it right afterwards when I realized it was incorrect. All right, so that seemed to be fine. Our current savings are being accumulated towards that goal of using it as down payment of at least 200K. Okay, so you don't have a combined emergency fund slash house savings. You finish the full emergency fund first before you start saving 1 cent towards the down payment. Down payment of at least 200K, so 150K mortgage, no problem with that income at all. As a principal, we want to principal LE. I'll give you a break. I'm sure UAE's first language isn't English. Who knows? Maybe it is. But that's really good. Your English is almost exquisite, except for the not spelling principal right. We want to avoid loans. Well, you don't say we want to avoid loans. You just don't do it. You don't let that be an option. Want to avoid loans as much as we can. It's easy to do. You just say I'm not going to do a loan. I'm not going to buy a house until I have enough down payment. And even when we do want we even when we do, we want to get it over with an ideally 5-year term. No, not even that. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that at all. Not as much as possible. You just don't do it at all if you choose not to do it at all. And Mr. Ramsey's fine with you having a small mortgage. That's fine. That's why you're going to put a lot down. So if you're going to put a lot down, you could just save extra to do that. But you can get a mortgage, and I would pay it off as quickly as I could. Even with the term, I would pay it off earlier, even if they make you pay the full amount. The full amount of interest over 5 years. Who knows? Some banks are nitty. They do stuff like that. Now, my question is the savings that we have does generate an interest. Does it generate interest? But immediately 3 to 5 for 4%. Yeah, that's all it's going to get. You need to put in a high yield savings account. And that might be their high yield savings account over there. You would have to put it in the stock right investment portfolio and cash out when we have the 200K. Yeah, but what if it's down right when you want to buy a house? Whereas my wife feels maybe the process will be slow by adding it to the bank every month, but it is still safe, and we have the nest, which we can track easily. What's the better option here? The market might be down right when you want to buy a house. So if you want the market to dictate whether you can buy a house when you want to buy a house, until you know, the market will say no, sorry, you got to wait till it comes back, because you got to leave the money in there. Otherwise, if you pull the money out when the market's down, you are locking in those losses. If you don't pull the money out, then and it goes back up, you never lost that money basically. We want to start a family in 2028 and have the house bought before that. Okay, see, you're the one. See, you can't do both things. You can't do both things. You're gonna say, this is not enough interest. I want to put it in the market where it will make more money. Yeah, but there's also more risk. In a savings account, it's not going down at all. It's always going up. Now the market generally does better, but you never know when it might be down in 2027 when you want to buy a house. Current situation is a tricky middle limbo, to be honest. Okay. Where the goal is a little far from reach and there's not really a struggle to get by every month. I know this is very grateful to situation to be in, but it is just causing a little anxiety because of being in the middle. Yeah, the problem is you are doing middle stuff. You need to choose which thing to do and do it, and you make sure it happens. If you want to buy a house in 2028, then you're not putting that money in a brokerage and you're being satisfied with the 3.5 to 4%. If you can maybe move it out to 2030 or something, who know, if you need to, give it some time to come back, then maybe you do it. You have to make the choice on this, but you're trying to be middle. Is that's what's making the problem there. Creating the problem would be better phrasing. Thatcher, allocating fund money digitally. Looking at some ideas for how to allocate fund money, but digitally. I don't want to go to the bank every month and take out my fund money in cash, but I also don't want to just leave it in my bank account if I only spend part of it, or I'm trying to save it for a few months to make a bigger purchase. What are some ideas you guys have come up with to do this? I'm thinking about doing Capital One 360 checking account, but haven't really had time to research other ideas. I feel like this is a very stupid question, but somebody's got to ask it, right? There are no stupid questions. There's only stupid people that ask questions. I'm kidding. Um, allocate fund money, but digitally. So he doesn't want to leave it in the checking account, which probably doesn't make any interest, it sounds like to me. Um, so he wants to put it maybe in an interest bearing account so you can put it in a savings account. Problem with that though, you taking out money a lot, the bank is going to charge you eventually. I believe at the bank I worked for a short time in the Arkansas, I believe they gave you 6 transactions a month. So that is more than one a week. So if you can handle that, and your bank is the same and gives you at least 4, one a week, times that you can withdraw money, if you can do that, then you can get a little bit of interest on it. But otherwise, as far as to allocate it means decide what it's going to be used for. So I don't know if the idea is to make a little bit of interest on it, which would be the only reason I would think you wouldn't care if it's in your bank account mixed with all your money, because I mean, you know what it is. I mean, if you really have a problem with accidentally spending the fund money for bills or something like, or vice versa, then you can get one of those bank accounts that have buckets that have a different, basically, it's a different sub account, and put the fund money in one of the sub accounts and the bill money in another one. So you could do that as well if that's the problem. But I mean, as far as allocating is, I mean, it's for what you're going to spend the money on. So yes, it's the fund money. You already know the amount, right? So you know how much you're allocating to fund money. So that I don't think is what this person is asking. And as far as it being the way, allocating fund money, it can also be what you personally are going to spend it on that week. That is going to be what your fund money is going to be spent on. And why would you want to do that digitally? I mean, you can, but maybe just a spreadsheet for that. So I'm not really understanding the question. Not enough information there, I guess, or I wasn't able to pull it from that information. Open maze, paid off mortgage. It would be PAID, Sir Armato. Paid off mortgage, zero debt. Excellent. That part is excellent. And misspelling paid, not excellent. I would say paying off the mortgage, it trumps the misspelling. Just wired the final payment today. 30-year loan paid off in 5 years. Fabulous. So what? See, this is this is called following Dave's advice probably. And now watch me read something where they did something different. But let's see. Whatever happens, I know my wife and kids got a roof over their heads, 3 cars, a 2007 SUV, a 2012 minivan, and a 2015 car, all paid off. Bought used from Craigslist Marketplace over the years. Respect. I have a 2016 Grand Caravan now. Paid all the credit cards. At the moment, zero debt. What does that mean? At the moment, zero debt. So this would be not following the if there's going to be a moment where you have debt again, that's not the Ramsey way to do it. Figured it might be. I just had a feeling. Odds and endpoints. What age grandchildren gain control of trust inheritance? 18 maybe, 21 maybe, 30 maybe. I think you can set that up as any way you want to. As Dave talked about it, not that I'm aware of, but so that might get to be a you decision. Takumi Sai, what are your tips for eating great as cheap as possible? So eating great. So your problem here is that eating great. Oh, as long you would think this would be a standard short question, but no, it's not that long. But you would think it would. Eating great means different things to different people. Is the problem? New here, so I'll do my best not to break any rules. But I didn't see what I'm looking for in previous posts, so I'll ask it now. Yeah, I think they do recommend that you look for the same question because most of them are the same questions, but I don't know that they take them down if it's the same. Should I take out debt or something like that? They don't. Because we had some before. We're talking about other debt. Maybe it's just if it's in the title or something, who knows? And they'll take it down. I got no problem with the mods on here. They let me post some of my song links to some of my Ramsey songs on there. That would be in the music playlist on Coach Steve Money channel on YouTube. YouTube.com/Coach Steve Money. I believe I'm doing a great job with my personal finances. Always want to do better. We have some luxuries regarding grocery that we would like to keep, but of course are willing to cut if needed. Okay. Are you paying all your bills and improving yourself on the baby steps? Are you making progress on the baby steps? Then you can have a couple luxuries. That's the beauty of it. The examples are Red Bull, Zero Coke. Oh, Red Bull Zero, Coke Zero, chips, other snacks. Yeah. So those wouldn't be necessary. I mean, I would have it. I would have it. I mean, I pay very cheap. I don't have like Coke Zero or Diet Coke. I have the Kroger brand, which is $1 per 2 liter. So it went up. Like I think around the Pandy, it went up to $1.25. But like here about 6 months ago, I think it came back up, went to $1, and it's still there. So 2 liter for $1 of Big K, that's Kroger brand. Big K zero sugar. So you might want to switch to a cheaper version. Could do that. The obvious things I could remove my budget entirely to save money. Yeah. However, what are some general tips I personally can use to maintain my fit lifestyle? Okay. Oh, I see. During the winter season, I eat about 200 grams of protein and 4,000 calories. Okay. Well, I'm probably not going to be able to help you on that because I don't know exactly what foods would give you that. Summer season, 170 and 2,500 calories. I wonder what the difference is between the winter and summer. I guess the winter you're hibernating. I don't know. So you need more calories and protein. Or it's because you're not active. You would think you would need less. I don't know. I don't know how it works. Not dead set on healthy foods. That just try to make sure I meet those numbers as exact as possible. What are some tips to do this as cheap as possible? I don't know. I'm sure there's a blog about that. How to eat healthy cheaply. I'm sure there's tons of internet posts about that. That's what I would refer you to on that. But in general, you are going to be paying more money for the recommended healthy food, usually. Yeah, and unfortunately, um, like when you say eating great, your definition of eating great isn't the same as mine. Because mine would probably involve a lot of Taco Bell and a lot of Domino's pizza. So, and those are extremely cheap. So, um, emotional biscotti 554. Retirement help 65 years old, still work full time. You know, what am I? 58. So that's 7 years for me now. I I would imagine I'll still be working. Like unless something physically happens where I can't do like exactly the job that I'm doing now. Especially since they're doing $2 raises an hour per year. It's not gonna take long for that. Just like the market. Um, and so what did I say? 7 years from now, so that's 14 more dollars an hour by then. So who knows? I keep joking with them that I'm gonna cease living there while I'm there, just so they have to deal with it and fill out paperwork, etc., etc. But it might look like something different. I mean, not doing my job now, which it's not a ton active, but I'm on my feet and moving around most of the time. So that's actually good for me. So if something would happen for that, it would probably be like that. I'd be doing more of this. I'll probably 24-hour Ramsey stream. Who knows? Probably you start playing more video games too. Just my life online doing other like side hustles that I'm able to physically do or that don't require physical. I have a full teacher retirement in Tejas and Oklahoma, currently working in. I'm going to continue working in OK, that would be Oklahoma. You know what I heard? I heard ain't no love in Oklahoma. It's the whistle of a long black train. That's what I heard when I watched the movie Twisters. Excellent. Highly recommend. Uh, just as good as the first one, if not better, is what I'm going to say about that. Anyway, about Oklahoma, with at least one more year. I'm thinking about starting to take my Texas retirement to use the funds to pay down my mortgage. I have 17 years left and want to pay it off in half that time. Is this a good financial move? Yeah, if you're in step 6, yes, that's what you're supposed to do, regardless of whether you're living in that state at the time. What are you doing for housing in OK? But it sounds like not staying in okay past like the next year, one more year maybe. So yeah, if you're in step 6, it's pay off the house. No matter, it doesn't matter if you're staying in another state temporarily or not. It's an ad. How much is too much intensity? Well, like, I mean, something that like wouldn't be healthy. I don't know. It would be tough to get there probably, but I'm sure some people have done it. On the Ramsey train. Let's see. What would Dave do? Flare, not have too much intensity. I mean, you're supposed to be gazelle intense. That's the thing. So, like, too much intensity would be not eating at a healthy level, meaning like barely eating, like not eating enough so that you can put that money to debt, that kind of thing, or to whatever baby step you're on. So that would be too much intensity. Let's see. Context me, 30 years old. My wife, 34 years old, about to be debt free. Congratulations. Not including the mortgage. We're a year into owning a house and 193 left on the mortgage. Start was 205K. House is worth 230K. Our mortgage is 1,600 a month. 30-year loan. So the 30-year. Oh, right. So, and that's the thing too, is that you cannot buy a house and base your numbers on a 30-year loan. That's no. People do that so they can justify buying the house or so that they can afford the payments. But see, the problem is 15 years of interest is not the same as 30 years of interest. So that would be the thing there. So you shouldn't have bought that much house anyway, probably. And so maybe you shouldn't even have it now owing 193. So we'll just round it up to make it easier for me. $200,000. Well, that's not bad because then they would only have to be making 50,000 a year. So yeah, so if they make 50,000 a year, they can afford that mortgage. But the problem is it's so what they have to do is figure it out. What they have to do to get it to be like a 15 year, they have to pay it off like a 15. And if they can't afford to do that, then you move. So you went too intense on the house is where you went, not with the thing. Are you trying to keep your house here when you know that that's not the right thing to do? Oh yeah. They currently are. My bad. 2,000 a month to treat it like a 15-year loan. Okay, great. If that's what will pay it off in 15 years, great. Um, so I'm about to be debt free. But you shouldn't have been putting extra on the house until, okay, see, you're doing it wrong. Doing it completely wrong. Now, doing a bunch of stuff, listing it out of order does not mean you're following the Ramsey advice. Following the Ramsey advice, it's in order. And so what happens here is paying extra on the house. That doesn't start until step 6, my brother. So no, that $1,000 extra a month goes to pay off your debt first, which you said you're about to be. So that means that's where that should have been going all along. So hopefully you have not been doing that long, because that is not the right thing to do. And that's not too much intensity. That's too much being wrong, too much doing it wrong. Um, 4K will be 9K come tax time to build up 6-month emergency. Oh, dumping 1K a month the emergency fund. No, the extra that you're putting to the house now, that should be going into the emergency fund after you are completely consumer debt free. But you said you're about to be debt free. not including the house. So you're doing it all wrong. You're doing step 3, emergency fund, while you still are supposed to be on step 2. And remember, I said step 1, 2, and 3. And if you don't listen to Dave's show or read the books or anything like that, you would know it from looking at this list. But you do not move to a different step before the first one is done, as far as for 1, 2, and 3. Now, some people actually have thought that you're supposed to do all of these at the same time, which is dumb as crap. That doesn't make any kind of mathematical sense at all. Anyway, let's go back to this nutty person. Bringing 7 to 8K a month, depending on my overtime, me working my part-time gig. Excellent. That part's fun. We both work full time and have 2 kids. One that's 2 weeks old. Wow. And the other that's 11 years old. If we're both working full time, then that means we're also paying for daycare, which is a lot of money. So you got to consider that. So the plan currently is by next year, once I finish college in the summer of 2027, we should have a fully funded emergency fund. You're doing it wrong. Who's paying for college? Obviously, that's the hope, because the world knows how to nut check you. Okay, that's swell. The question is, how much to intensity? Well, to me, I'd roll that 1K that's going in the emergency fund into the mortgage. No, you're a dumbass. Emergency fund is for emergencies, and that there's a reason that's step 3 instead of step 6, like putting extra on the mortgage is. You're a dumbass. You're a dumbass. You're trying to financial bro the baby steps. Stop it. However, I've thought about doing 500 extra a month, pulling out the 900 a month, and putting out 500 towards family life, such as vacation, housing. See, you can't do everything all at the same time. That's too much. I mean, 500 a month, maybe you don't want to spend that much. You decide the balance between doing fun family stuff with money and proceeding on the baby steps. But first, do the freaking baby steps correctly. You idiot. You're an idiot. Again, maybe not. Maybe it doesn't, found the way to Dave Ramsey's subreddit somehow. Voluntarily put the what would Dave do flare here. I don't like to talk about my flare. Moose Rider does. So put what would Dave do on there. And so he wouldn't do the dumb crap that you're doing. So, you are putting too much intensity toward, you have too much intensity because it's causing you to do it wrong, to try to do multiple steps at the same time. And you don't do that until you get to 4, 5, and 6. And that doesn't mean you do 4, 5, and 6 while you're doing step 2 or 3 as well. You don't do that. Again, you need to have your $1,000 emergency fund, starter emergency fund, done first before you start putting extra on debt. During step 1, you're still paying minimums on all debts. You do not pay extra. The second you have your $1,000 starter emergency fund, the second that happens, then you start putting all extra money to debt. And did I say anything about saving a full emergency fund yet? No, I didn't. Did I say anything about putting anything extra to the house yet? No, I didn't, because it doesn't happen. And if you do that, you're doing it wrong. So you have to finish step 2 first before you even start step 3. And you also do not do investing. You probably do. This person's probably doing investing too, all at the same time. So probably trying to do all of them at the same time. That's dumb as crap. That is so dumb. You should know not to do that. But I can't blame you if you're just looking at those lists, because the list doesn't explain it. If you hit learn more, it might tell you a little bit more about it, but I don't think it addresses like how the order is. It's steps 1, 2, and 3, one at a time, and then 4, 5, and 6 are all at the same time. Step 5 doesn't apply to you if you do not have children yet. They do. So if they choose to help them with college, then you can start doing that as well. Only investing 15%. Don't invest 1 cent over 15% of your household income. All the extra that you might have that you might want to invest it, you put that in your house early. If you take money and you would be adding more to your mortgage payment so that you pay off your house early, if you would be investing that, then you are debt leveraging your mortgage, your house, so that you can invest more. And that's a negatory good buddy for Mr. Ramsey. Critter looking for VIP tickets for Money in Marriage in February, and that is in the Tennessee probably. I believe. They might have some guests, but it's definitely John Deloney and Rachel Cruz every year. Long shot here, I would really like to attend Money in Marriage and would like the perks of the VIP or Platinum packages, which are sold out. Can anyone help me find 2 tickets at that level? Thanks. Wonder if there's scalpers that do the VIP tickets for Money in Marriage. That's interesting. I mean, you could check like who allows scalpers to do that on their platforms. For example, there's 21 Pilots at Ohio Stadium tickets in the back, like high up in the stadium, and they are $500 each. So yeah, and I think that was on SeatGeek that one of my supervisors was looking at the other day. Man of Liberty, need advice for finances. I will give it to you, sir. I will tell you exactly what Mr. Ramsey said. Maybe not exactly. I will say it in my way. I say dumb as crap more than he does, that kind of thing. So let's see. 30 years old. Still a baby, really. Still a baby. I'm almost doubling it. 58, so I'm almost doubling it what you are. Make $85,000 gross at my job. I live in Oregon. I'll be Oregon. Which is pretty high cost living. It's cost of living, sir. Assuming you're a man, it doesn't say. Oh, it says man or liberty though. So okay. My roommate is moving out at the end of February. Roommates at 30, about time. Probably. I mean, I just don't. I mean, I get it when you're a kid trying to make ends meet and like you know, or maybe you move in with your friends or something like that. But once you get old, I don't know. I guess you wouldn't be lonely. Now at the end of February, and effective my pay responsibility for their partner is doubling it. Speaking of doubling it at $15.75 just for rent. You make 85,000 gross. What's the problem? I have 9,500 in debt on a credit card. I got a great idea for your finances. Follow the Ramsey advice. Maybe you have to move to $1,000 apartment. Maybe they don't have those in Oregon where you live. In Seattle, they probably don't have $1,000 apartment. I don't know though. My name is Paul, and that's between y'all. You have to figure that out. If I have been aggressively trying to pay off, I was $12,800 owed on my truck I bought in December 2024. Okay, well, you didn't give a crap about Mr. Ramsey's advice then, apparently, when you're doing car. I own 10.5% of a Bitcoin, which would allow me to eliminate one debt completely. Yes, do it. But I think even with other fixed expenses, I won't be able to afford living in my apartment alone. Well, then you move. Easy. That's crazy. 85,000 gross at the job and can't afford $15.75 for rent. Now it would be easier if you didn't owe, what is it, 21, 22, 3, 22,300. If you didn't owe that, it would be a lot easier. But like even with the payments, where's your money going to? What are you spending money on? I would need to see the rest of this budget. But yeah, hey, guess what? That 10.5% of that Bitcoin that you own, that's gone if you're following Dave's advice. So, and then you don't justify keeping it because, but even then, like, even if I did that, no, you don't do, even if you did that, you do that so that you make progress on the baby steps. Need some advice because crunch time is coming and I'm nervous. Yeah, yeah, figure it out. Figure out a way to make it happen to stay there, or you move out and lower your rent significantly if you can. I mean, that might be the cheapest apartment there. But you might be able to find some one bedrooms cheaper, maybe. Maybe I'll check. I'll check some of the locations in The Last of Us 2 in Seattle and see what apartments are going for there. Rogue Libra, HISA, which is high yield savings account. Hi all, I'm opening my first HISA at the tender age of 37. Congratulations. So very late to the game. Do you have any institutions that you recommend? Any info is appreciated. Now, I would think any like bank or brokerage or something like that that you've heard of, like that's a national company, probably. Um, Generally, it has to be online to get the best rate. But if it's somebody that you've heard of, they're probably all right. And when you are signing up for it, don't just bypass the all of the fine print. You read every single word of that. 15% investment, baby step 4. People never know this for some reason. I guess you don't watch the show or read the material. Maybe you just read again, just looked at this. Oh, let's see, Dave Ramsey. Let's check him out. I'll read this and then I'll go on. I'll go on my merry way and try to do life like Dave says to do, or not do it. But it says on baby step 4, so that is investing. So again, that means if you are on baby step 4, that means step 1 is done a long time ago, probably. Step 2 is done. Step 3 is done as well. And so only then would you start investing. Now you can not invest for like up to 2 years if you want to save a down payment for a house, for example. But simple question, does the 15% include my employer's match? No, you put 15% in. The employer's match, and this is exactly what Dave says on the show, is just gravy on the biscuit. That means it's extra. So yeah, that's a negatory good buddy. A lot of people, yeah, I put in 10 and my employer puts in 5, so that's my 15%, right? No, you're doing it wrong. I'm kind of messed up. Okay, let's see in what way. Financially, I'm assuming as my pals in the UK. Do I even have any more? I know. I used to work with a young lady that moved there. Looking for financial advice on buying my first car. Okay, cash, cash, cash. That's basically all you need to know. You can try to get a Honda or a Toyota. Let's see, going to try and keep this brief. Okay, so I'm going to give you also some English advice as well. You don't try and do something, you try to do something. Anyway, I'm going, and of course, as we all know, Do or do not. There is no try. 30 years old, very minimal driving experience. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being a day one driver. I'm like a 3.5, okay? 30 years old, huh? How does that, I mean, I guess that happens. I currently work retail. I mean, especially these days, everybody just Ubers or Lyfts. Be glad to do a sponsorship with one of those fine people. I've never taken a Uber, but when my transmission died, I took some lifts and had nothing but good experiences. That's free. You get that much for free. Won't ever mention it again unless I get some cashish. Um, actually, aren't Uber and Lyft like the same company now? Didn't Uber buy them out or something? I don't know. I currently work retail and make about $2,400 a month. Looking to purchase my first car. All my coworkers have. Okay, guess what? It doesn't make a crap load worth of difference what they have. I don't give a crap what they have. The same way I don't care that the first question's friends were all buying bigger houses. I don't care. And you shouldn't care either. Don't compare. What's it called? Comparison is the thief of joy, is a saying. Most of them live very close, and I've been driving for a long time. I wrote an approved for the loan. That's no. So I could afford both of them? No. Look. You see where you are? You are kind of messed up because look where you are, Dave Ramsey. And guess what the idea is? No debt. That means no loans. That includes, car loans. And see, some people are so nutty that they don't include that. They don't include that. Like Rachel Cruz. I think, granted, this was many years ago, but Rachel Cruz, Dave's daughter, said, you know, she talks to people, and they say they're debt free. And she says something like, "Oh, that's great that you don't have student loans or a car loan or something like that," and then they say, "Oh, I have student loans. Oh, I have a car loan." Yeah, then it counts. It counts. People are nutty. I wouldn't be able to live with myself for the for justifying something in my head that hard so that I can not follow good advice. I wouldn't be able to. Of course, I'm fully bought in on the advice though. So I guess I'm not your average person. 100%. 100%. If Sid was here, she would agree. I bet. Probably if anybody knows me was here, they'd agree. So the loan, that's a no. That's the financial advice. Cash. Want to get something cheap and reliable like a 2013 to 2016 Toyota Camry? Well, not going to be that cheap, probably. Reliable? Sure, I'll buy it for Toyotas and Hondas. Sure. It's been around 15,000 max. Guess what? Did I get a Toyota? Did I get a Honda? No. I got a Dodge Grand Caravan. You know why I got that Dodge Grand Caravan? Dodge Grand Caravan? Because it was $3,500. And also, very important here, also, my mechanic checked it out and said it was a good buy. Said there's no reason it won't last years and years. Anyway, my mother sold cars, and she said this is foolish because the miles would be around 80,000. Grand Caravan is more than that. Didn't deter me. Also, she also does not trust my driving. Okay, mommy being involved when you're 30. Unless you have special needs, this doesn't feel good to me. Anyway, and feels I need several different safety features. Yeah, that's. I mean, how about take a driving course? Maybe the car she chose out the door will cost 23,500. Hey, got a great idea, Mom. You want me to have that one? You buy it for me. It is a very good deal. No, it's not. No, it's not. I don't care. I don't care. It's 23.5 out the door. Um, you're also paying more from a dealer. Anyway, did I not get it from a dealer? No, I didn't. It's a very good deal. 41K mile, but again, it's only 2 years old. So yeah, if Mom wants to buy it, fine. It took me 2.5 years to pay off 15,000 in credit card debt I had due to bad decision. Yeah, like getting the credit card debt, getting the credit cards to begin with was a bad decision. One that I made myself, so I can relate. Yeah, I was dumb as crap. Yes, just like all you people. Just like all you people. I'm very reluctant to deal. Oh, I have a drink. This episode brought to you by. Come on, crinkly water bottle. Stop making that much noise though. Smaller and quieter. Crinkly water bottle. Um, I'm very reluctant to deal with such large amounts of debt again. How about be very reluctant to deal with debt at all? How about be extremely reluctant? How about refuse to deal with debt again? How about that? But also very afraid of making mistakes while driving, so the safety features do sound appealing. If you're a bad driver, safety features aren't going to save you. Learn how to drive better. Take some driving courses. How about that? Expensive. Total approximately 2,000. Leave me 400 every month to save. And that's a no. Again, you get a car that runs for as cheap as you can get away with. Especially the lower the baby step you're on, which you're on step 2, so you're pretty low. Brief Blueberry 1588. How to make real money. Tired of all this baby stuff. Okay, this person is an idiot for sure. I want to make real money. Got no loans and lots of cash. Great. Not sure what to do. I already have so much in the stock market, but I want to make more money. Started doing options too, but that's still not enough for me. Yeah, and you start doing option stuff, that's like day trading. You're playing with fire there. There's not much success doing this stuff. So, I mean, other than the stock market, you would have to start your own business to make more, and most of those lose money the first year or longer even. So, I mean, that's difficult. So I got nothing for you really. I don't have any get rich quick schemes. That is not what the Ramsey program is about. Accomplished chain 930. That's financial row 100%. Car loan or student loans. Smallest to largest is how you pay them off. Did it not say that? Let's check. Maybe Dave changed it in the past 5 minutes. No, he did not. Oh, let me refresh just in case he changed it. Yeah, they didn't change it. So it's smallest to largest. Dead snowball. Listen to Dave's show off and on for a year now. Why off and on? But I've been constantly listening and watching for the past few weeks. Great. So you should know the answer already. This year, I really want to tackle my debt and pay it all off. Great. Do it. 20-year-old female. Females can pay off debt too. And I make $30.48 an hour at my job. Take home is just over $3,400 a month. if I did my math correctly. I think, yeah, that's about right, I think. I have a 10.3K car note. Hey, guess what? Yeah, that's part of your debt. So you pay it off, but you pay smallest or largest. So we'll be paying off this 4.8K in credit card debt first then. Currently on baby step 2, yes, paying off all my debt. If I follow the snowball method, which yes, that would be what's recommended by Mr. Ramsey. You either care about that or you don't care about that. I mean, paying debt at all is great, but the idea is that you do smallest to largest because paying off stuff faster tends to keep people on the program more. So that's the way it is. I would pay all the credit cards and the student loans, then the car. Yes, you have it perfectly down. So why would you want to do anything else? However, I want to see what everyone here thinks. People here are dumbasses, and they probably have more debt than you, a lot of them. So why would you ask them? Cars, what we're doing, only worth about 3K. 120 with a 2019 Ford Escape. It's only worth, how can it only be worth 3K? 2019. I don't think it's 3K. I think it might be worth more than that. Anyway, notice 10K, so I'm already in the hole, right? If it gets total. I know that's an if statement, but you never know. The escapes don't have the best track record. Wah, wah, wah. You're trying to justify your thing. So you're making up problems so that it will do it. I don't trust you at all, lady. Sorry. Has nothing to do with you being a lady. So I'm a bit nervous it's gonna die on me and then I will be screwed. Wah. You're already screwed with that much debt. You did it to yourself. You already screwed yourself over. Interest rate on that is 5.25, and student loans have interest rates ranging from 4.99 to 6.53. You see, when talking about baby step 2 and paying off all your debt, does Dave mention the freaking interest rate? No, he doesn't, because it has nothing to do with it. You want it to because you want to pay off the highest probably first, but that's a no. In a second savings account, I have 5K. It's kind of just sitting there because honestly, I'm afraid to use it. If I follow the steps, they would tell me to use that 5K to pay off debt and then rebuild it. No, yeah, pay it towards all your, and when all your debt does, then you rebuild it into more like a full emergency fund. But you should take that down to $1,000. So 4,000 should go to the credit cards immediately. How much is on credit cards? Yeah, look, 4.8 in credit card debt. That would almost take care of the credit card debts. Quit being a dumbass. And do things. It's not only the right thing financially, it's the right thing logically to do too. Amazing reason why I should. Dave said so is a great reason. Also, it will pay off your credit card debt and then you won't have to pay that off anymore. So then you'll be closer to being able to pay off your car. Because then you'll do your what is it, car loan. I'll hear you through, but I don't know if I actually use the money for the debt in the end. And I'll continue to save it. Well, you're doing it your own plan then. So why ask anybody? And the reason why I'm hesitant to use the money now is because there's a very real chance I get laid off from a job this year because of cut. See, now the people catastrophize and sometimes they do it so that they can make whatever money decisions they want to make. They're trying to justify it. So it could be that happening here. It could be Just a rumor somebody said. It could be a joke somebody said. And so now she thinks it's really going to happen, or it could actually be really going to happen. And so the Dave parameter on that is if there really truly is a 51% chance you might get laid off, then you would not move that money. You would just pile up cash. You also wouldn't pay off extra on debt either. So you would have to change that as well. So I just want to be prepared. So it's not going to work out with the Ramsey advice being what you want to do. So just do what you want to do. And don't worry, you don't have to run it through the prism of Dave. You can just do dumb crap you want to do. It's fine. You don't even need any idiot on Reddit to agree with you. You can just do it. My question is this: since the my car is worth so much less than my loan, do I pay that debt first, or do I pay off my student loans next after credit card? Smallest to largest. I feel like for me, see, it's not about feelings. It's not about feelings. So it doesn't matter what you feel like for you. Doesn't matter. Like a smart pay go because of negative equity, but I don't know. Yeah, that is not the advice. Even in your little situation, that's not the advice. Any insight is greatly appreciated. Work in accounting, so I feel like a lot of feelings. Like, how about say what you know, not feel like what you know. Now, you being able to do accounting doesn't mean you know how to manage money. That's not really the same thing, especially since the numbers you're doing accounting for, those dollars, those expenditures, etc., all that is somebody's company. That's not your personal finances. So that's totally different. Only 25, and they don't teach you this in school anymore. How ironic, right? Yeah, a little too ironic. And yeah, I really do think. Did I go? Yeah, it's 2.5 hours already. Jeez. All right. Well, I guess let's see if it's a short one. See if the next one's a short one. Oh, that's the one we just did. Housing budget using the Ramsey website too. No, this seems like it'll be more in depth. So yeah, alrighty. Coach Steve Money once again. I am a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. Let's get the ticker over here. And we have answering your financial questions streams 8 p.m. Usually I started at 9 tonight. Went longer than an hour. Mostly use an hour. They are possible most days other than Thursdays and Fridays. So anything other than Thursday and Friday, then it could be a night stream. Normally 8 p.m. Eastern time. And as it says, they're doing higher steps early, baby steps 4, 5, and 6 in order, all three at the same time if they apply. You can schedule a free financial coaching consultation by emailing me, and that is coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Donations can go to paypal.me/ where is it? Over there? No, it's right down there. PayPal. Um, Alternatively, the Cash App, $ Coach Steve Money, or YouTube Super Chats or Super Thanks. Super Chats on live streams, Super Thanks on pre recorded videos. Thanks so much. And as I said, the Ramsey Show After Show will start at 11:05 a.m. on the days that I do them, and that will be on some Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. And those are the only weekdays I can do them because I'm either off, which I normally am on Wednesdays, Thursday, and Friday. I work at 2:45 p.m. Eastern Time, so I do have time to do that if I have gotten enough sleep. Alrighty, I guess that will do it. We'll try to do something about my lighting, etc., etc. And of course, my stream setup. Not that it probably didn't bother anybody but me. Yeah. Alrighty. So, thanks so much for watching. And again, Coach Steve Money, youtube.com/Coach Steve Money is where you're watching this. And as it says right up here, make smart financial decisions every day. Thanks so much for watching.